Hey ladies, it's Mocha Mommy here, bringing you another video. I just wanted to go live today to give you guys a little bit of an update of just a few things that I've been noticing. Hello to those of you who are coming in. But basically, I just wanted to make sure that I went live after Lizzie Rants just posted her video, and ladies, be sure to check her out. Just a follow up on the whole Black femicide statistics. She did a great job with her live. So ladies, check out Lizzie Rance's channel. But I just really wanted to say, shout out to this other great content creator, right? My World. I'm going to make sure that once this video goes live that I put her the link to her channel in the description, because she really is really great. She is a woman who is 40 plus. She lives in Texas, and she's just really putting herself out there. She just is doing such a great job. I'm just so proud of her for just putting herself out there, sharing her story, taking us with her on her level up journey. I'm just really proud of her. And I'm just so grateful that she just shares her story with us. Because, I mean, you know, technically we taught to move in silence, but she really has been sharing a lot with us. And I'm so, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm so proud of her. My allergies are killing me today, but let me get some water, in fact. Yeah, okay, I'm doing okay. My allergies are killing me. I was gardening today. So anyway, so I want to thank her for sharing her content. She just is such a good content creator. She just is, she just is such a good, she's just so honest about it, even like the victories and the setbacks. And, you know, and shout out to her, and also to the other woman who emailed me about finally taking advantage of her company's alliance with the NFL and went out to that game last week. She said that next week at work was so much better because her coworkers were able to kind of talk to her on a social level now. They're like, because they saw her in a social setting, they can now, like she said, they speak more. And they were like, you know, saying hi to her, asking how her weekend is, and wondering if she was going to watch the next game. And I thought that was so awesome. And I think of all these women who are putting themselves out there. And and I told her, I sent her an email, and I hope she gets it. But watch the highlights, even if she didn't see the game, of the Packers and the Bengals, because that's going to be talked about. That's going to be a talked about game, y'all. Definitely some craziness. I mean, I feel like some folks might be losing their job Monday morning, i.e. the kicker from the Green Bay Packers. I think that dude might be unemployed come tomorrow, y'all. Yep. So, yeah, I told her, I was like, hey, you might want to watch that one because people are going to be talking about that. And it's just like an example of how, like, once you put yourself out there, both of these women are in their 40s. And both of these women have making an effort to put themselves out there. And, you know, of all the things, even with the victories and the setbacks that both of these women have experienced, you know what their biggest regret is? Their biggest regret is that they didn't do it sooner. So yeah, it was just, oh man, you coming to make me, yeah. It was a sad situation. So yeah, but it was, and it just really goes to show you, like, even ladies with taking these risks, with some of us get so kind of afraid to put themselves out there and meet people. Ladies, seriously, when you put yourself out there, they're kind of like, people are a little bit more welcoming than you might think. And their whole thing was like, hey, I wish I would have done this sooner. Even with the setbacks, that's the one thing that they always say, that they wish that they would have put themselves out there sooner. And as I'm telling you ladies to kind of support, you know, Lizzie rants and telling you guys to support, my world. I think that's one thing that we as Black women, we're very supportive of our Black media outlets, but I think that we're so supportive that sometimes we're so supportive of Black media outlets. I think that we kind of don't watch mainstream TV, right? Because we're so busy, we're kind of insular, and then that is one of the obstacles to starting small talk, because we don't watch too much mainstream television. So I'm just going to kind of give you an update of a couple of like mainstream TV talking points that you guys might find interesting, and some shows that you might want to check out. Okay. Okay, I've mentioned this show before, and this is Ted Lasso on Apple TV. You have even been hearing like the one-liners or seeing the memes around because this show is so popular. It ended up winning 7 Emmys. It stars Jason Sudeikis, where he is a soccer coach for Richmond Greyhounds, right? So he's a soccer coach, but really he's a football coach by trade. So that's one thing I really love about this show, because you'll see this Midwestern guy with his Midwestern colloquialisms kind of get into trouble with, he kind of gets into trouble a little bit with some of the nuances in his mannerisms in England with his Midwest. But again, there's so many like cool one-liners from this movie, like the whole "be a goldfish," if you guys have heard that. Also, the whole line with, my favorite line from the show is, "I love meeting people's moms. It's like a instruction manual as to why they're crazy." Like, he's so funny. So, I really want you ladies to watch this show, and the characters and now, yes, the show is kind of technically about sports, but really it's about men and their relationships through sports. It's really, 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 really good. And it's one of the reasons why I always think sports is such an icebreaker for people, because it's such a subject that unites people. And you'll see how the town is so united around this football club, and how he's kind of the outsider, and they are hoping that he respects that their alliance and their allegiance to this team and its history. And with all that the fans have been through, excuse me, with all that the ownership has been through, it's a really, really, really good show. Really heartwarming. It's on Apple TV, and we're at season 2. And I think you guys should you ladies should really check it out, because you're going to understand a lot more of the memes and a lot of the office talks and the jokes that are kind of around it, because it really is so popular. Also, really check out Nate. Nate, I'm not going to tell you who or what, because I'm not going to do too many spoilers, but really check out the character of Nate and his evolution. I'll say that. Another thing too in this show, the female characters, right? Rebecca and Keely. It's interesting how much, I guess, forgiveness I saw. Black women, we're being crucified and all the time for our attitudes and how we supposedly sabotage people of these false narratives that they create about us. But yet, when there is actually that happens, you see there's forgiveness. A lot of times we get, slut shamed for looking fast or talking grown or acting grown, but yet when some of these other women have a particular type of past, they can move past it. And I just find that really interesting. That was just one of the most interesting juxtapositions. So definitely watch the female characters and keep the kind of cultural things to yourself, because I know I've been hearing from several people that they've been sharing divestment videos, and I'm sharing this with and even though I love it, I love the idea when you say I love it and I want to share it, but Also, be very cautious of who and what you share with who. Just because I don't think there's some people that are ready for it. Like me, I don't really talk up too much in my real life about being a content creator. I don't really talk too much about like some of the YouTube divestment talking points but what I do is when people ask, I give them the answers to the question they're asking, right? That's what I do. And I think that I do have one certain exposure. I've seen a few episodes of Insecure because I've never really had cable, and I'm starting to catch up with it now that I know it's going off. So I'll check it out. And Certain Exposure also has a YouTube channel, guys. His channel is about digital technology and filming and filmography. So definitely check out Certain Exposure's channel. So again, I don't really talk a lot about it in my personal, but I am like starting to show women certain things. Like for instance, like now that it's like new resident season on the job, I am kind of encouraging and trying to initiate more conversation between like the young Black nurses and like the other healthcare professionals, right? Not for like always romantic reasons, but for networking reasons, and so that they can have something. Like I'll give an example of a conversation that we just had. There was one of the new physical therapy graduate students. I don't know if he's a new grad or a new graduate student. And it was, he was eating some kind of like crackers, like with seeds in them. And I think a lot of those physical therapy, they're usually very into fitness and wellness overall. So and I asked him where he got them. I was like, those are really interesting crackers. Where did you get them? And I'm sitting with another young Black nurse. And he says, oh, I got them at this particular Whole Foods. I'm like, really? I don't think they're in my local Whole Foods. Which Whole Foods is that? And then he had explained where he lived in the Whole Foods he shops at. And so then I got, kind of nudged the young lady I was with. And I was like, look up that Whole Foods, get that zip code, and then put that in your Tinder profile. Like, because that's going to really show you like what that caliber of man, where that caliber of man lives. So maybe you might be more exposed, right, to a certain different caliber of man than who might live in your zip code. So those are like some of the things that I say do, or that I'll do, or say like, if there's a young student who's talking to me about her career progression, I'll like, and there's another, healthcare professional there who is further progressed in their career. I'll say, so where, hey, I was just talking with, this young nurse's aide about, going on with her education. Where did you go to school? And I'll like try to facilitate those conversations a little bit more. So, because I feel like we as Black women, we tend to be really insular. Like we tend to only talk to one another. We kind of stick to ourselves a little bit more in the job market. But believe it or not, like asking people what they packed for lunch, or asking people about their favorite sports team, or asking people about where they went to school. Despite what you hear on YouTube, there are people who care about that. And, it was funny because this one young woman was kind of like embarrassed that she was in community college. And believe it or not, the young man said to her, he was like, yeah, I wish I would have went to community college, because I started out as pre-med, and then he went on to, I don't know if he's an occupational therapist or a physical therapist, but he's one of those. And he's like, and then when I had to change my major, it was so much, it was so expensive. I took out so many student loans. If I would have gone to community college and did like you, I probably would have saved myself a lot of money. And then because I know at community college, they just kind of do a better job of telling you what programs are available than at some of the bigger, even private collegiate institutions. Because he went to a pretty big private school. So no, I think, or state school. I think he did go to a state school. Yeah, he went to a pretty big state school. And with schools that big, sometimes you don't always get a chance to know about all the majors and all the programs. But at community college, they make it a point. The particular community college she went to makes it a point to introduce people to different programs. And So here she's thinking she has to hide the fact that she's at community college when actually this person saw it as an asset. Like, that's an asset to you. And should you want to transfer or go on to this bigger school, let me know. And let me give you some advice about how to register and what people you should contact. And like, it's just little things like that, because I think there's a lot of people who, people who are secure in themselves and are secure in their future and are secure in their success, know that there's enough success to go around. Know that there's enough to go around. It's the insecure people who are always trying to knock you down. So when you find those people who are secure in themselves and secure in their career, they have no problem sharing insight or information with you because they want you to win too, right? Because I know there's like a meme going around, like, I'm not your competition because I want you to win too, right? I mean, that kind of thing. There's a lot of people who, there's a number of people who have that mentality. So please don't be ashamed to share your level up story to an extent with other people, because you'll be surprised how many people are willing to be an asset. So definitely share parts of your level up story, maybe not a divestment video, but parts of your self-improvement journey with others, because there are others who are on that same journey and are looking for allies, or there are people who are looking to reach back. So again, that's one thing I would encourage you ladies to do. So I also saw the new James Bond movie. I saw it, of course, the day it came out, like the midnight showing of the day it came out, because I am a James Bond stan. Like I'm talking about, I remember watching the old Sean Connery James Bonds with my dad on Saturday afternoon on those like old movie networks. Like I remember the original Dr. No and laughing about like what I considered like old school technology. What it was funny, like what they were considering new age technology. Like I remember that in the original Dr. No and like laughing, like ha ha ha. That's what they thought in the 60s what technology was going to be like. That's what they thought cell phones were going to look like. It was funny. It was funny to me, and I loved watching those movies. I remember like watching the movies and seeing like when they started transitioning between what was it? It was like Timothy Dalton and Roger Moore. Like when they started making that transition, I remember like, hold on, wait a minute. And my dad kind of was like explaining like, yeah, they look alike, but they're definitely two different actors. And I just remember that. I kind of remember, now this movie, No Time to Die, was a little bit, that's one thing that was so good about Daniel Craig as James Bond. He always did a throwback for the original fans, right? He always did some kind of throwback. So you'll see like, he'll wear one of Roger Moore's suits, or he'll use one of Timothy Dalton's guns, or he'll drive one of Sean Connery's original Aston Martins. Like something is always in that movie that throws back to the original James Bond, or it'll be like one of the locations of a James Bond movie. So this one was a little bit of a mix of Diamonds Are Forever and Live and Let Die. So it was really good. And it wasn't a typical Bond movie, especially at the ending, but it still was a good movie. And I suggest you ladies see it, because I think a lot of people are going to be talking about it, and it was a really good movie. The theater was packed. Even at those midnight showings, it was packed. And I think a lot of people are going to be talking about it. And the fact that Daniel Craig was such a good Bond, in the fact that he really honors the franchise and the fans of that franchise that franchise has created over the past half century. So yeah, I even remember like the old days when Pierce Brosnan was to become Bond, and they kind of held up the franchise for like a decade, waiting for him to finish Remington Steele and to deal with his own personal issues so he could be the next Bond. And that's kind of when like Die Another Day and GoldenEye came out. And I think Tina Turner and Bono from U2 did the theme song. So that was I remember that. I'm a Bond stan. I love the Bond movies. So, I mean, I hear that Regé Jean Pierce, whatever, the guy from Bridgerton, he's on the short list. And I also hear Michael Fassbender is on the short list to be the next Bond. So we'll see. And with that being said, Lashana Lynch, I know that there was, in this particular YouTube space, a very sore spot about it, because Chrissy's coverage of Lashana Lynch being the new being Nomi, right, know me from the original, like Ian Fleming, Bobby Broccoli convergence of James Bond's female alter ego. And they were like, oh, there's the masculization of Black women and blah, blah, blah. Like, let me tell you this. If you saw Skyfall, I knew that Nomi was going to be Black. So, and I also knew that Nomi could possibly have a spinoff because the original Ian Fleming novels kind of had a lot more characters. And I also kind of knew that she had to be the opposite of Eve Moneypenny. So if you guys saw Skyfall, which I think, hands down, those of you who are Bond stans, if you agree with me, that was probably the best Bond movie there was, Skyfall, because I felt like it was the perfect 50-year anniversary of the franchise, and it covered everything. I think that Daniel Craig, Sam Mendes combination was it was a great movie. It is hands down the best Bond movie in the franchise. And I'm as a person who has like the commemorative box set and who's seen all the James Bonds, like including Moonraker, including that Bond that they tried to hide, like in Her Majesty's Service, right, with the Australian James Bond, which is why they'll never have a James Bond that's not English. Yeah, like I love this franchise. Like, it's probably one of the movie franchises that I'm most loyal to. Yeah, it is the one I'm most loyal to. So, which is why I saw it at midnight, because I had to be first. I could not let anybody spoil it. But if you saw, and this is a little bit of a spoiler alert if you guys have not seen Skyfall, but Eve Moneypenny. So if you know like the old Bond movies, Eve Moneypenny was always like sweet, more innocent. She was very helpful of Bond, even when he went rogue, very supportive of him, always very doting. But Skyfall actually told her backstory. And because she was a Black woman, I kind of had a feeling if there was going to be a Nomi that she was going to be Black too. Because she's supposed to be the opposite. Like, it's supposed to be Eve Moneypenny. It's supposed to be like the, I guess, light femininity, and Nomi's supposed to be dark femininity. And I kind of felt like people were just kind of going off of, you know, just how Black women in media are promoted in general, and not understanding maybe the nuance behind the franchise, right? And she did look great. She did look great, and her attitude, confident but not boisterous or ghetto, how we're always proclaimed, but still like very confident and very competent at what she's doing. Because you saw how she was always like a step ahead of him, and she was really quick-witted and very brilliant, and she did look amazing. I mean, you know, they like, oh, look at her. Everybody else is wearing a dress and she's wearing tights. But girl, was she wearing them tights? She was wearing them tights. I was like, come on, Lashana, come with the secrets. How you getting that snatched? And, you know, just, you know, booty so big, Lord have mercy, you know? Come on, Lashana, let us know what's up. What's the deal, sis, you know? But anyway, yeah, she was wearing them pants, y'all. So shout out to Lashana and her squats. So, so anyway, yeah, it was a really, really good movie. And I suggest you ladies watch it because it was really good. And I think that it might be in our best interest to maybe start, you know, looking at other shows and other things that other people are talking about. So small talk won't be so overwhelming. You know, Ted Lasso, the highlights to the Bengals Green Bay game, because Lord, child, I'm serious. Somebody's going to be looking for a new job. Somebody is going to be looking for a new job Monday morning, y'all. And I challenge you to go to work and say that. Did you see that Green Bay Packers game? Child, somebody going to be looking for a job. Are we hiring? We might be getting some new resumes after that game, y'all. But, you know, it just as encouragement, you know, so small talk won't be so intimidating, because you'll notice like a lot, I don't know, I feel like we are so supportive of Black media. And I love that we're so supportive of Black media, other content creators. Shout out to Certain Exposures, Uppity Unicorn, Afrocentric Woman, who are here in the chat, who are content creators. and I think Chavis. I would see Chavis. Do you make content? But a lot of you, Lizzie Rant and My World, who are out here doing great things as far as content. And I love the fact that we're so supportive of our Black content creators and of our Black media. Yeah, and I think too, maybe not understanding the story. I think Camry was good. Cam Wee makes a good point. Maybe not seeing the movie and understanding the evolution of the franchise. So yeah, and also too, why the other woman looked good? Like, because remember, one of the women was supposed to be like a ditz, and it was supposed to be like a diss, like a backhanded compliment to the Americans, like who they hire for what reason. Like, so you will see like one of the other women's appearance it's a little bit of a she's kind of like a ditz, it was a little bit of a backhanded insult to like the American CIA and how we run our intelligence. Right. So I think the movie overall, but I'm not going to give it away too much. So without you guys ladies really seeing it, definitely see the movie for sure. It's worth your time. It's worth your time. So definitely see it because it's worth your time. But anyway, I just wanted to just give you ladies a couple of assignments. I know that I have like a lot of books I suggest you ladies read, and now I have shows that you ladies should watch, but ultimately it's about cleaning out your algorithm. You clean out your algorithm, you clean out your mind, the future is yours. So thanks a lot for just taking time to listen to me on this live, because I just really want you ladies to break out of the box a little bit more and be open to a little bit more small talk, and maybe not be so insular when it comes to your television viewing experience. So yeah, and I just wish you guys the best and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you ladies in the next video.